Alright, well we're here to do our big giant video on the worst films of the year.
Big giant video.
Last year, what was 90 minutes?
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that.
Jake's like, what do you have playing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, we got yelled at a couple of times last year because the video was too long.
Yeah, I read those.
Those were great. So, this one will probably be long too. Alright, number 10 on my list for the... And these are all theatrically released movies. I know last year I had a few in there that were like direct-to-video movies. I kind of kept mine as just the theatrically released films because I saw more direct-to-video movies this year, and honestly, if I had to make a list of just all of the worst movies I saw the year, they would take up a little too much of it. But later on I am going to spotlight some of the direct-to-video ones I saw that were bad too. But this main list, it's just theatrically. So number 10 on mine is Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh, is it?
This is the funny thing too, is there will probably be the same movies on both of these lists. Just probably, I take it Paranormal Activity 4 is also on yours.
It sure is.
Paranormal Activity 4 sucked. And I liked you didn't even like the other three. I liked the other three. I mean, the third one, but at least the third one I thought had a couple of moments in it. This one was just... All it was just a string of very, very cheap jump scares, which would be one thing if any of them were any good, but none of them were. But none of them fucking were. It didn't even seem like a movie that was even in continuity with the rest of them. It just seemed like its own separate fucking thing, starring some teeny bopper girl and her date rapey boyfriend. It wasn't scary. It wasn't fun. Not even the audience liked it, and it was a fucking midnight, so that one I couldn't stand.
My number 10 was Brave.
Which is a movie you like.
Which was a movie I liked.
But you didn't see 10 bad movies?
I saw 8 bad movies. 8 that were easy for me to list.
Yeah.
And then one that was somewhat easy, but I really, really like Dread. And there's Paranorman and those movies that I genuinely really liked, and I would see it again. I didn't feel it was necessary. I couldn't put those on the list.
Well, no.
But Brave is a one and done for me. It was like, oh, okay, that was nice. I don't need to watch that again.
Sure.
It's not that it was bad, it was just...
It was the least good movie.
It was... that's basically what it boils down to. It was the least good of the good movies that I saw. That's
fantastic.
The fucking best that I got. What do you want?
That's great. That's great. I like that. It's number 10 on my list, but really, you should go see it.
Really, at least once.
I actually still never saw it. I never did go see Brave.
Like I said, it's not a bad movie. Just
meh. Just yeah. You said it was rich people problems.
There was a lot
movie,
of
right?
Yeah,
First world
same
problems.
White people. I don't want to have everything handed to me. Oh, you poor fucking baby.
The 3D was good though, right?
Yes.
It was rich. The rich people problems were very good in 3D.
The rich people problems did pop out beautifully at me in 3D. I'm not gonna lie.
Number 9 on mine, and if you saw this, I'd guarantee you would be on yours. The remake of Total Recall.
I bet I avoided that.
Len Wiseman doing a PG-13 Total fucking Recall that has a tunnel that shoots a rocket through the middle of the earth to get to one side of it on the other, in which there's also a fight scene on top of it as it's going through the earth. Dude, there's a part in the fucking movie where once it hits the core of the earth, it does it goes into zero gravity and does the little thing that the people are sitting in reverses because gravity's being switched because it's going through the middle of the earth.
Is it going through a black hole?
So here's what happens. So there's an emergency exit on it.
Oh yeah.
But they can't get, and there's people chasing them. They can't get through they can't go through the emergency exit because they're in the Earth's core. So, like, you can't open the door then, but as soon as it gets out, they're like, okay, we're past the core.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah, this totally fucking happens in the movie. And then there's even a thing, too, where apparently Len Wiseman had to call Paul Verhoeven, the director of the original, to ask him what the ending of the original movie meant. So that's who was put in charge of this fucking movie. It sucked. That's number 9.
My number 9 was Wreck-It Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I really liked the first half, and then it turned into the Sarah Silverman show, and I can't stand that bitch. I was told later that, I guess in Japan, it's actually based off of Sugar Rush, or
someone
whatever the hell that
told
is.
me something about in Japan it was marketed more as a Sugar Rush movie.
Okay, because if they would have done that, it would have made more sense. The first half of Wreck-It Ralph was really good, and then it turned into Sarah Silverman just being hyper and.
I'm with you on that too, and I was surprised. We were actually in a very small boat on that. And I liked the movie. I did recommend it, but the movie that once that character got introduced into it for me, it was a little much. I found it annoying. I didn't think it got redeemable as it went on. That particular character, it was just grating. Wreck-It Ralph became a supporting character in a movie called Wreck-It Ralph. The movie suddenly became about Sugar Rush and her. I didn't think it was an interesting character. I thought she was annoying. I'm not the biggest Sarah Silverman fan. I think I still would have found this character annoying regardless of who was playing the voice of it. Mm-hmm. But I thought the movie. I didn't like the movie nearly as much as a lot of other people did. But I thought it was okay. I thought it was a decent movie. But I agree with you on that Sugar Rush and whatever that character's name was.
Yeah, the name escapes me. It was the part that I enjoyed of the movie was good enough for me to warrant a recommendation to somebody.
That's how I looked at it.
And if you do like Sarah Silverman, you'll probably enjoy the movie, much more than I did.
Yeah.
Or if you happen to like that type of character, that tiny, hyperactive, you just want to choke until the head pops out character. Every movie has one. Every video game has
one.
You
want to love grip them.
Yeah, just love grip them. Though that type of character is just... I've never really been a big fan of that particular type of character. I just haven't.
Same reason why I don't like the Family Circus. At least we got Paperman. Was Paperman Wreck-It Ralph, or was the Simpsons Maggie thing Wreck-It Ralph? I think Paperman was Wreck-It Ralph, wasn't it?
Yes, Paperman was Wreck-It Ralph. Maggie Simpson was Ice Age.
Okay, yeah, Ice Age, yeah, I did go see that movie.
You sure did.
Number 8 on mine is Silent Hill Revelation, or whatever generic throwaway fucking subtitle it had. I was like, was it Resurrection or Revelation or that sucked. It was a movie. One, I had no idea what the fuck was going on in the thing. Like I haven't played the games that much, but it seemed less like I was, because I saw the first movie. I thought the first movie was okay. I certainly wasn't confused in the first movie. Mm-hmm. This one I was. Shit was just coming left and right out of nowhere. Things that were villains previously were now kind of anti-heroes. It sort of turns into a fighting game at one point. Then she starts looking like a juggalo, and all this weird shit keeps happening and coming out of nowhere that has no setup or no context or anything like that. So I didn't know what the hell was really going on in the movie, but I wasn't frustrated because I didn't care.
Yeah.
Like, regardless if I knew what was going on in the movie or not, it's still not a good movie. And I was with Brian and I was with Jillian when we went to go see it. They played the games quite a bit, and they were more angry about it than I was, I think, or at least Jillian was. I think Brian was kind of like, yeah, I went into this knowing it was going to be terrible, and it certainly fucking didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
But even they said that a lot of stuff that I was confused about, they were too. Like, even if you played the games, it sort of made no sense why this character was here and why they're doing what they're doing. So it all came across as a movie that clearly looks like it should have been direct to video, but is theatrical probably just because it's in 3D.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah. I don't want to see any of the Silent Hills. I've never really been a big enough fan of the game to warrant me wanting to watch the movie franchises.
Yeah.
I feel the same about it that I do Resident Evil, that movie franchise. Although I will say some of the Resident Evils are a little bit fun.
The Resident Evils you can laugh at
Exactly.
a lot more than you can Silent Hill 2, or even the first Silent Hill. And the first Silent Hill, I didn't play the games, but as a movie, I didn't think the first one was that bad. I mean, it was at least well made. It at least had a sense of ambition to it that's lacking in a lot of video game movies. But yeah, as far as the Resident Evil movie, I saw the Resident Evil movie this year. It's not on my list, but it wasn't very good. But kind of like what you just said, I mean, it did have unintentionally funny parts in it.
Yeah.
So there was at least that.
I gained that much enjoyment from the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, you're at least going to have that one guy as Wesker. He's going to be funny in it.
Yeah, he is. My number 8 was Breaking Dawn.
Breaking Dawn, I didn't put on mine. Kind of the same reason as Resident Evil was I thought it was hilarious.
Yes, he was hilarious.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen was fantastic. Bella.
Bring me the child, Bella. Oh, Carlisle, that's a naughty Carlisle. I'm gonna take you over my knee and give you a spanking.
He was amazing.
There's no way I could put that on the worst of the year list. This was solely based on Michael Sheen alone.
Yeah, God damn it, he was amazing. But the movie as a whole,
it's not
what
good.
What the fuck do you want from me? I covered that thoroughly last time. It's Breaking fucking Dawn. You know what the fuck it is.
It's honestly, and it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie. But I enjoyed it as a bad movie. I thought it was funny. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought it was incompetent as shit. But I'm a big enough asshole where that can entertain me as a bad movie. I can get entertainment out of some bad movies, and that one I certainly did. It's really probably the only Twilight movie that I didn't put on my worst of the year list because
you gained that much entertainment from it.
Well, it had the most Michael Sheen in it. Out of all of them, it had the most Michael Sheen in it.
I guess I never saw the other ones.
Okay.
I mean, as the ones I saw, it had the most Michael Sheen in it.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah, because when we left the theater, we were like, well, that was really stupid.
That was really stupid.
And I
God damn it, Michael Sheen was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I leaned over to Jake and I was like, "Would you believe that was the best one?" It was, as a bad movie, it was the most entertaining out of all of those. So if you're gonna see one, I guess make it that one.
I'm looking at my list. Out of all these that I saw, I had the most fun at Breaking Dawn.
You did see this. Number 7, Battleship.
I did not.
Were you a Battleship?
I was not a Battleship.
Battleship fucking blew, but you wouldn't know that if you talked to the guy sitting in front of us who kept applauding every 5 fucking minutes in the movie. We're sitting there, it's me, Sarah, Dave, was Irving there? Or maybe it was just, no, actually I think Leah was with us. And this guy in front of us, this old dude, kept like, hey, every time there was an explosion or every time something happened. And anyway, at one point, Dave just looked down at the guy and just goes, "You do not fucking applaud at this movie." Dave's chastising some old man in the theater. It was the whole plot of the movie was centered around a chicken burrito. Everything that happens in the movie happens because of a chicken burrito.
I'm alright with this. I can get behind this.
Well, I'd like to eat a chicken burrito, but I don't want to.
Dude, I will start a war over a good chicken burrito.
That's kind of what happens in the fucking. Well, what happens? The guy's hitting on the girl at the bar. She wants a chicken burrito, which they're not serving at the bar because the microwave's broken. So the guy breaks into a closed convenience store while the Pink Panther theme is playing. He falls through the roof, like injures his back or something. Of course he fucking gets caught. The cops take him away just as he gets the chicken burrito to the girl. Flash forward a little bit. This situation causes him to join the Navy. And then aliens strike, and Liam Neeson's in it for 5 minutes. Battleship!
Dude, it has chicken burritos and Liam Neeson.
It has Liam Neeson for like 5 minutes. Like, Liam Neeson's in the movie for like 5 minutes. It's quickly, there's no time!
Bam, done.
Yeah.
What's so bad about this?
It was really, really bad. Like, I love chicken burritos as much as the next one. This movie really sucked. Well, if I'm selling you on it, you check it out.
No, you're not selling it on me.
You just want a chicken burrito.
I just want a chicken burrito now. My number 7 was Chernobyl Diaries. I don't even know what the fuck I was doing at that movie.
I think someone canceled or something like that.
It was something. How many times were people like, "It's not a found footage movie. It's not a found footage movie."
Yeah.
It's not a. Guess what it was?
I didn't see it.
It was a found footage movie.
You guys were saying something like that. Like it looked like it was a found footage movie where they just removed the audio from.
They removed basically what it was. It was a found footage movie. If you had like a fifth friend who didn't say or do anything besides walk around with a camera, that's what the movie was.
Yeah,
and it was really fucking stupid.
One of them was a turtle, though, right?
Yeah, there was the turtle.
I remember that
little
from the
mutant
review.
turtle and the bear.
Yeah, because he said that actually was like the only jump scare.
That was the only jump scare. Was what is that? What is that? Is that a mutant? It's a bear.
Beers! That's great. Somebody brought up a really good point about that. I think it might have been on like the Dread Central podcast. I'm not sure, but it was. So there's a part in the movie where the two of the survivors end up in the reactor, or like inside the reactor, and their skin starts kind of fucking up. They brought up an interesting point to where they said, okay, you know what? After that, it doesn't fucking matter what happens to them.
It really doesn't. They're dead.
Yeah.
The second they went into that facility, they were dead.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can change that. So it's like, all right, now it's just 20 minutes watching dead people trying to live.
Then it ends with her getting thrown in
with the mutant people things. It's
you know what the saddest thing is that, you know what, a really good movie could be made with that location.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is a creepy place. It is a creepy looking place.
The setting of the movie, where they're at, that's really fucking creepy.
Mm-hmm. So an effective horror movie could probably be done with that, but I guess not this one.
No. It's found footage. I don't fucking like those things.
Found footage.
I don't like them.
Found footage, and well, we're going to get to found footage here in a bit, but there are some that I like. To me, it's like any other subgenre of horror. There's some that I like. There's some I don't. But the thing with found footage is that when found footage goes bad, it's fucking bad. It's really fucking bad. When there's good ones, they like Chronicle, I thought was really good. Of the ones this year, you know what? That might have been the only good found footage movie I saw last year. I can't fucking remember, but that was really good. But it's gotten to the point anymore. They're so cheap to produce. They're so cheap to make that for every good one like Chronicle, you're gonna have a bunch of fucking really shitty ones. Like whatever found footage movie is being thrown out by the Asylum, Paranormal Activity 4, stuff like that. So that is a subgenre of horror that when it goes bad, it's fucking catastrophic. My number 6 right here, it's not found footage. It's about as good as some of them. Like Chernobyl Diaries, The Apparition. The Apparition, though, was hilarious. Like, Brian and I went to go see The Apparition, and we left laughing, because our situation was so stupid that we sat there and watched that with a group of teenagers behind us. When it ended, they're like, what was that shit? We were actually cracking up quite a bit in the movie. It was, of all the horror movies I saw this year, it was by and away, step by step. I have another horror movie later on that I thought was worse, but in terms of just sheer movie making, in terms of storytelling, in terms of mood and suspense, it's a step-by-step how-to on how not to make your fucking horror film. It isn't scary at all. It's cheap looking. It has no atmosphere. It's fucking hilarious. Like, there's a part in the movie where, because I guess their house is haunted or some shit like that, and so it's broad daylight, the girl's leaving the house, and then the camera is staying on the garage, which opens itself back up with spooky music playing behind it. And Brian and I are looking at each other like, dun dun dun. What? And the plot, this movie has no plot. The plot that's in the trailer is not the plot of this movie. There's no plot. They had to make one up for the trailer. The trailer says it's about a ghost that won't go after you unless you believe in it, which, you got a ghost coming after you, of course you're gonna fucking believe in it. That's like saying,
you, ghost.
Yeah. I don't believe the spooks. That's like Jason won't kill you unless he sees you.
No, you just gotta stand still like a T-Rex.
Yeah. Where'd he go? That plot is nowhere in this fucking movie, and also the ending of the movie is the poster. Like,
sweet.
Of all the movies that gave away the ending in the trailer and kind of in the poster work for it, this one was the worst. The best was The Gray. They spoiled the shit out of that ending and all the trailers for that. But that was a great fucking movie. This one sucks. What's your number 6?
My number 6 was Ice Age. That movie was... It was a cash cow. There you go. Enjoy that.
And not even a good one.
And no, it wasn't even a good one. It wasn't enjoyable. It couldn't stand the fruit. We have ghetto mammoths for some reason.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
The ghetto mammoths, and then
all of the I remember a lot of pop culture references.
It was swimming in pop culture. And then Wanda Sides. I used to like her. God, I used to like her.
Wanda Sykes?
I did. I used to think she was funny. Then, like I said before, she went full-blown lesbian on me.
She turned too angry for you?
She just went full lesbian. Just bitching and whining about nothing, really.
I don't know. I haven't seen
I'm gay. Yeah, I'm gay. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It just me and you have something in common. We both love pussy. Let's move on from there.
That's how you introduced yourself to my mom.
Hell yeah, I was. How you doing? My name's Jake. I also love pussy. We at least have one thing in common that we can talk about right now. It's pussy. Let's talk about that.
My mom looks at me. I like where this guy's head. I had to go back. We both did the same thing. We both had to go through our lists there, or on the website where it says what all movies we saw. And I saw Ice Age 4 sitting there, and I was like, no, it wasn't very good, but I'm sure there's something else here that pissed me off more than Ice Age 4. Ice Age 4 was not good. The Scrat stuff was funny, but of course it was. Like, that's still good. When he ends up at the
it's like the Atlantis,
but with
Scratlantis.
Scratlantis, that's
some stupid pun.
That was funny. When he ends up at Scratlantis and there was the other Scrat guy there with like a toga on. Welcome, brother! That was funny. Wasn't there a kid, like, in the back who kept getting, like upset when someone got knocked out?
Somebody got knocked
out. No! Is he okay?
No! He'll be alright, buddy. It's a fucking cartoon.
We're sitting there at, 10 in the fucking morning or something like that, just scruff, looking like this. Like, we just fucking gotten up. Jake's in there with his aviator sunglasses. We're just sitting there looking like we're fucking... That we've been on, like, a 24-hour binge. Watching Ice Age 4.
Ice Age 4.
With a bunch of kids.
But I will say this. There is one thing I do enjoy about seeing children's movies, you know, being at opening night or sometimes in the summer at midnight, is that you do get that child audience. And child audience usually are really, really funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Because watching a good kids movie that the kids are laughing and interacting with, it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Because kids will just shout out the goofiest shit. They don't care.
I could go really wrong. Like, imagine, though, if the Oogie Loves Theater was full.
Motherfucker. That would have went so bad.
Let me guess, that's coming up later on yours, too?
Nah,
Mine too.
It wasn't
Mine too.
good enough to make my list.
But you're right, though. Like, because that kid in Ice Age 4, that was funny. You know, kind of like the old man and the old man battleship.
Yeah. You know what? You're enjoying the movie. Far be it from me.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't take that away from you. Fine, he got his money's worth.
Yeah, it's like I personally did not like the movie, but if you found enjoyment in it, okay.
To each their own, you know.
All right, buddy. Cool. All right, this movie's really fucking stupid. I don't agree with your taste, but your opinion is your opinion.
Yeah, but have at it, man.
Enjoy.
It's cool. I will never take this movie away from you.
I will not. No, if that is what makes you happy, you know what? I can't do that. I'm not that fucking evil.
Number 5, I've got The Devil Inside, which I kind of hinted at earlier when I was talking about The Apparition, because The Apparition, on a technical aspect, is worse than The Devil Inside. In terms of movie making, The Apparition is worse, but at least The Apparition, it had an ending. I mean, it didn't have a plot, hardly at all, much of a story or anything, but it did all look like a full-length film. It's like, okay, I guess this is the beginning, I guess this is the middle here, and I suppose that's an ending. Okay, fine. Like, you knew when it was going to be over. You knew roughly where you were at in the movie. The Devil Inside doesn't do that. It's found footage. Did you see Devil Inside?
No.
Okay. Devil Inside, it's a found footage movie. It's not an effective one. It is unintentionally hilarious. Like, I know they want me to be creeped out by the scene of the priest trying to drown a baby while baptizing it, but sorry, this is unintentionally hilarious. And then all of a sudden, the movie ended. The movie has no third act to it. The movie's about 70 minutes long. It has no third act. The girl is doing a documentary on how her mother was possessed by a demon, and then she gets these two priests to kind of help her out with that. There is an exorcism scene involving the mother, which works. The demon gets out of her, but with the pacing of the movie, I didn't think that was like going to be near the end of the movie. I thought, okay, the mother, she's all over the trailers for this goddamn thing. She's probably going to show up in it again. She doesn't. The demon just starts bouncing from person to person. It bounces into the girl, bounces into this guy, and then this guy. This all seems like it's the second act of the movie. It does. There's not an inkling that tells you that you're nearing the end of this movie. And then they all get into a car. The driver gets possessed, takes his seatbelt off, crashes the car, killing all of them. The camera goes out. That's the end of the movie.
I would have been pissed.
And then it says the audience, like, there's YouTube footage of audience reactions to the end of this, because this thing had a solid opening weekend. It was, when I saw it, it was a pre-screening, and it was packed. It was a packed house. The movie ends, there's people throwing shit at the screen, they're booing. I'm laughing because, holy crap, I've never seen an ending that fucking inept before in my fucking life. And everyone's just like, what in the fuck? And there's YouTube footage all over the place of theaters that had the same kind of reaction. And it had like this steep second weekend drop at the box office. And so it says at the end of it, it says, if you would like to know more information, visit this website.
Oh my god.
And which kind of hints like, if I go to this website, is that going to be the end of the movie or something? Apparently it was just like a couple deleted scenes and some character bios.
That is a giant fuck you.
Yeah. I don't know how to end this fucking movie.
Look at the website. We'll show some deleted scenes. There you go.
Yeah, let's have our characters get into a car crash and they all die. And that's the end of the movie. Like, found footage movies typically do end abruptly. Because it always ends with whenever the camera goes out.
It's the nature of the genre.
It's always going to end when the camera goes out. But the difference is in something like Blair Witch Project, in something like Paranormal Activity, those movies, yeah, they do, like Paranormal Activity, it ends when the guy flies at the camera. Blair Witch Project ends with Heather getting knocked out and the dude in the corner. Yeah, of course, that's abrupt, but the difference between that and The Devil Inside is when that happened in those movies, you could tell that was the climax. You knew that was going to be the end of the movie. It wasn't out of nowhere. It did have the last 15 minutes or so of those movies, you, regardless of whether you like them or not, you know that you're nearing the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. There is a beginning, middle, and third act to them. That's the difference between that and The Devil Inside, is that there was no three-piece arc. There was no hint that this is near the end of the movie. It seriously just looks like the last reel went missing. That's exactly what the fucking movie looks like. As a prank, that would be genius.
Oh god, it would.
Like that's pretty. I'd give him props for that. If that was like intended to be like a prank or something like that, like okay, all right, you got me. But no, it was just a horrible way to do a fucking horror movie.
My number 5 was Paranormal Activity.
Speaking of
found footage garbage.
Yeah.
I do not like the other Paranormal Activities, so I went into this knowing
that you were going to be like
stupid.
It. Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed. Exactly what happened. This movie's really fucking stupid. And people's reactions to that, what were my reactions were when I very first saw the first Paranormal Activity, this was really fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it's the same shit. Like, in a horror movie, at least the type that I like action. I like, like the old slasher things, stuff like that. I like the building up. I like the stuff like that. It does not frighten me, like, for example, the first Paranormal Activity, when I'm watching people sleep for 5 fucking hours. Yeah, they fast forwarded, but I'm still watching them sleep for 5 fucking hours. And then it just stops.
Well, that would suck if that was a real-time movie.
Oh my god. And then, it stops, and then the girl gets up and looks at the douchebag Mika guy, then goes over and goes back to sleep. Yeah, that's creepy, but that's not fucking terrifying. That's fucking boring. You got a creepy bitch. Mm-hmm. That's what that boils down to. She likes watching you sleep. Get the fuck out.
I'm totally at Spoonie's camp with that, though. And I like Paranormal Activity, but I'm totally in his camp that says, like, because a lot of people really fucking hate the Mika dude. I don't. I somewhat related to the guy in the sense that if I was going out with someone who said that they were being chased by ghosts, I would set up cameras and shit around the house and do shit. Maybe I wouldn't take it quite as far as he necessarily did.
That's what.
But I would. I get it. I totally get that thinking. I do. Granted, there is a point where you can be like, okay, maybe we should.
Enough is a fucking enough.
No. The point comes where you're like, maybe we should see other people.
Right?
You know what? I do give props to them for still getting a good night's sleep. If that were me, I wouldn't be able to fucking fall asleep. But throughout that whole movie, they
slept just fucking fine.
I gotta give them props for that.
So we have, the movie of nothing, Paranormal Activity 2, another movie of nothing, number 3. It's a movie of nothing. Nothing is going. And then here we go in Paranormal Activity 4. Let's show the Xbox Kinect dot.
Oh! I forgot about that whole fucking thing.
And then the
giant commercial for the Kinect.
Yeah,
that was so dumb.
It was product placement. This was stupid. The knife disappearing. That scene, pissed me off to no end. Does nobody look up anymore? Where did the knife go? Is it just hanging up there on the ceiling? Did nobody ever once go, why is there a knife hovering right aboard the cat? It's right fucking there. Where did it go? Natural selection. This demon is killing stupid people. I don't see what the fucking problem is.
That is true about the fourth one. It got the most stupid people in the fourth one. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. The fourth one, as somebody who did like the others, I can't say I was also disappointed in the fourth one because it looked like shit. It totally looked like shit. The movie, first of all, why do you need product placement in a Paranormal Activity movie? These things cost $50 fucking. You afraid it's not going to make its fucking movie back or its fucking money back? Really? Why does it need that much fucking product placement? It really fucking doesn't. So and it wasn't even good product placement. Like, it wasn't scary. It was fucking stupid.
How are they going to do scary product placement?
If it's Pepsi Blue, that was really bad.
But is the demon going to, like, force him to drink a Pepsi Blue, or is it like they're sitting there playing a game and out of nowhere a Pepsi Blue can, like, BLAM! Right in the face?
At least that would date the ghost. It's like, oh shit, this ghost is from like 8 years ago.
Oh man, we gotta get out of here. This thing is mad.
And the movie was, it just seemed like it took... It was jump scare the movie. That's what it was, and it did it poorly. The other movies, yeah, they have jump scares in it, but for me anyway, what was missing in this that was present in some of the other ones was at least the other ones there was a build up to when things started getting crazy. There was more of a sense of dread in the other ones than this, which was just in terms of pacing, honestly, even in terms of sound effects and stuff like that. But this one, it was like going to a really bad, cheap fun house where a guy is just going to jump at you around the corner every 2 minutes and scream in your face. That's not creepy. There's no dread in that. That's not scary. It's annoying and it's irritating and it's not done. When it's done that much, it's not done well. It's too much. Like, jump scares, yeah, it can be fine when the movie earns that and when the movie builds up to that, then it's fine. That's an effective way to do that.
Yeah.
Paranormal Activity 4 didn't do that. It was the same concept of what I just said. Like, you're just walking around and some idiot just screams in your face every 5 minutes. That's what the fucking movie was.
That's not scary. It's one of the reasons why I don't go to those like little, area supported haunted houses and shit like that, because you come at me at a corner, you scream at me, I'm gonna fucking try to kill you.
Don't do that, dude. Leatherface is really big.
I don't give a fuck.
And he's in 3D now.
Look, if Leatherface is going to try to kill me, so be it. He's probably going to try to kill me. But I'm going to at least remove his ball sack from his person before I go. Yeah, wow! Go ahead and cut me, dude. Bam! There's your nut sack. Go fuck yourself. This is why I don't personally do that, because I know exactly how I react when adrenaline hits.
That's a good way to piss off Leatherface.
I do. I don't care. He's going to kill me. Whatever I do, Leatherface is going to kill me. I'm going to cause that motherfucker pain before I go.
Yeah.
It's my mentality. It's the way I think. That's why I try to avoid those places. Because I've been kicked out of, like, a JC's haunted house.
Yeah.
And I remember it happened like 4 years ago. I was just walking around the corner. People talked me into it. And I was like, I'm warning you, don't do it. And, like, some guy popped out. Was like, blah! And I went, BLAM!
Was it a guy who just wearing like a sheet with like his two eye holes in it?
Oh, boogie! Ah! Dude, your ghost costume was too much. You scared the shit out of me.
I hate you, ghosts.
I hate you, ghosts. I hate you, ghosts.
I do like going to haunted houses, though. I do, because it's... I don't know, I like seeing... I'm always curious about what they put into it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always curious as to seeing how much effort they put into it, and it is funny when you're with a group of people and one of them is, like, genuinely terrified of it. Like, that could be kind of funny a little bit.
That's just fucking irritating.
I find that funny, and there was one that I really wanted... We went to, this was at ConX, that was this was around Halloween, and there was a theme park. I forget the park. It's the one that's Peanuts themed. It's Charlie Brown themed, and anyway, this is around Kansas City, and again, this was during Halloween, so there was a bunch of different haunted house and stuff like that set up, and then we found out about this, and we went to it. We only had time to go to about 3 or 4 of them before the park closed, but there was one. They all had different themes. One of them was like creepy dolls. It was like creepy doll themed, and Kelly was with us, and she was kidding. She's afraid of dolls. That was kind of funny.
All right.
There was a girl dressed up like a doll who had a scar on the side of her face that unintentionally looked a little swastika-y. There was a guy behind us going, "Hey, girl, hey, you got a swastika on your damn face." She looked at him like that, and then a minute went by, and she got replaced by someone else, probably to fix her makeup.
No, that's scary.
There was one of them that was clown themed, which I thought was awesome because creepy clowns are fucking hilarious. I love that shit. So the creepy clown one's great. There was one that was in a corn maze, and there's like scarecrows and shit jumping out, like "Don't be afraid of the corn" or something like that. I'm not.
I'm afraid of some asshole jumping down in front of me.
That was awesome though. So I do like haunted houses, but as a movie, the part I'm like,
yeah, as a movie, like you said, it was jump scare the movie. I don't like the pacings of any of them.
Yeah,
it's boring. It's just so fucking mind-numbingly boring for me. Just I like movement. I like dialogue. I like something to be able to focus on. And if all I'm focusing on is silent footage of a chair going like this, I'm going to be fucking livid. Are you fucking kidding me? I just, like, 10 minutes of this movie was just wasted so that chair could do this and scoot along the floor to right here. That is not scary. You just wasted my fucking time. That is what I feel about Paranormal Activities.
Yeah, it's a polarizing series because with its gimmick, with the kind of movie it is, either you're going to love or you're going to hate that kind of thing. And honestly, both sides of it, because I can't, even though I like the first couple, I can't disagree with what you're saying, because it's the same thing with comedy. Like, if somebody just doesn't find it funny, you can't argue with that. It's subjective. Like,
yeah.
You can't argue with what they're saying, and they're not wrong or anything like that. It's just, it's a subjective kind of movie.
It's the opposite side of the spectrum. That's where I happen to fall in on found footage movies. Again, if you like them, I don't care. Yeah. Enjoy them.
Yeah, it's like any other genre.
I do not like found footage movies. I've made this painfully clear. I don't like them.
I'm sure we'll have 10 more this year.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Where are we at? Oh, number 4.
Number 4.
Okay, number 4. People are going to be surprised that this isn't higher. Number 4 is Oogie Loves.
What?
Oogie Loves is number 4 on my list. All right. When I start getting into, like, top 4, 5, I tend to rank them really on
the emotional level?
Yeah, the emotional level of it. How much it pisses me off. How angry and just livid I am sitting there watching it. Now, if we're judging this on just sheer filmmaking, Oogie Loves is the worst theatrically released movie I saw this year. In terms of filmmaking, how it was made, the idea of it, yeah, it's the worst. I can't say I sat there pissed off while watching it. Maybe because I lost my buzz a little bit 10 minutes in. I mean, that kind of pissed me off. But but anyway, I can't say I was really angry because what did I expect? Of course it turned out exactly like I thought it would. It was bad. It was a bad movie. It was a bad kids film. I'm not saying it just because it's a kids film. I know the difference between a good kids film and a bad one. This is a bad one. This was just a bad idea. What parent is going to take a bunch of rowdy kids to an interactive kids movie like this? And it wasn't even done well. They were having them repeat the same stuff over and over again. Sometimes it would say, "Now stop dancing," and I would be like, did they even tell us to start? I mean, granted, I'm not paying the most attention to this, and the whole thing just being, like, it was it was just it was an acid trip, really. Like, it was a really, really, really low-rent version of Pee-wee's Playhouse. It looked like those knockoff Muppet things that weren't the Muppets, but tried to be like the Muppets, that you would find, like, for free on VHS at a library. It's like, oh, Safety Frog. You know, it was like watching shit like that somehow got a release theatrically. Somehow this thing spent $40 million on advertising. I don't know where the fuck any of that goddamn money went. So, yeah, that's number 4 on my list. Again, like I said, on a technical aspect, yeah, it's more poorly made than these other 3 movies on my list, but these other 3 movies pissed me off way the hell more than the Oogie Loves did.
My number 4 was Madagascar.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot about Madagascar. Yeah, because you're a Madagascar guy.
I'm a Madagascar guy. How could you forget that? You wouldn't let me fucking forget it over the summer.
Me? The employees wouldn't let you forget it.
You wouldn't let me forget it outside of where the employees are, Brad. I get text messages. Oh my god, it's Madagascar Jake. Are you fucking kidding me, Brad? I know who the hell this is.
Oh my god, it's Madagascar Jake.
All the fucking nicknames they get. Ugh.
Oh, you're the Madagascar guy. I think that's the best story in the entire Summer Midnight.
Everything about that day fucking sucked.
You and Irving and they're watching it, and the girl explaining to you the rules in the hallway.
Alright, everybody calm down. That would have been awesome if she would have done that. No, she just is like, alright guys, no feet up, don't throw stuff, be quiet.
You had to tell them to turn on the movie,
yeah,
too, right?
Yeah, it's like, if you're gonna start right out of the gate telling me what the fuck to do, you better start my goddamn movie on time. Which you didn't. Fuck you, AMC. It wasn't the first time I had to do that over the goddamn
Didn't you
summer
also
either.
have to do it at, That's My Boy?
I had to do
Or was it Brave?
It was Brave.
Okay.
I had to do it at Brave, too. I'm like, you guys gonna start this shit or not?
They want to make sure your friend is there. Isn't that what
Did your friend make it? Yeah, he's here.
And this was at Prometheus too, so it was a packed theater, but just everyone was at Prometheus, and Jake and Irving are at Madagascar 3.
You know what? For the first 35 minutes, I thought it was just gonna be Jake at Madagascar. Because I had to get there 30 fucking minutes early because I hitched a ride with you, like a dumbass. I had my own car. I
had to be there early because it's Prometheus, and I didn't want to get stuck. With a movie like that, like you're always taking a gamble. Really, it's like crap. I do want to get there early enough to get a decent seat. So Jake rode along with me, and then I said it was like, all right, I'm gonna go put my coat down in the seat. I'll be right back. I had to stay in the theater because the lights weren't turned on. It was pitch black, and I had to stay in there, and I'm like, oh my god. Finally someone got there, and I went out and found Jake 30 minutes later.
You're a fucking dick.
But you got to talk to the employee.
Oh, right? Yeah. Yeah, I got to. I was allowed to talk to the employee.
All right, your friend's not here yet. I will let you talk to me.
I was fucking cornered by that employee.
You were, really?
Yes! I was like, alright, I gotta go sit down. I saw this movie. Motherfuck. For the love, please, lady employee, let me go sit down and just zone out before this movie starts. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, why won't you shut up? And like, you know, and I do appreciate, you know, the people who recognize me and want to talk to me and things like that. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I really do, and I'll have a conversation with them. But if I'm trying to leave, like, hey, I got to go do something, and you start following me, you are triggering a very dangerous emotion in me. Because now my paranoia is going to spike up. It's like, you
could be Leatherface.
You might be Leatherface, and I may have to rip your dick off. So you need to please stop doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not wired like a normal human being. You know, most normal people be like, all right, you know, please, or, you know, find a nice way to do it. I'll go from nice to trying to strangle you before you even register what the fuck happened, because I'm a little bit crazy. So please don't do that to me. It takes every ounce of control that I have to not just strangle somebody when that happens.
And I know commenters are going to blame me for this too. They're like, see what you did, Brad? See what you did? That's what happens when you send someone to Madagascar 3.
Yeah, it fucking is.
Because we went outside at one point.
Everybody went outside to go have a cigarette, and I was like, yeah, I want one too. There was a decent amount of people there to see Prometheus, and then me to go see Madagascar at this current time frame.
Yeah.
And so we all went outside to have a cigarette. It was like me, you,
Dave,
Leah.
I forget.
I think that was about it. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But I know we were, talking, ha 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 ha, you had to see Madagascar, ha 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 ha. Dicks. And so we get done smoking our cigarettes, and we start going inside, and the ticket person, who was not the same person who cornered me and was talking to me, was like, I need to see your guys' tickets to make sure Prometheus. I got up there, it's like, crap, I can't find my ticket. And that's when she was like, oh, don't worry, I know who you are. You're the guy saying Madagascar.
And when we were at Brave, wasn't it Brave when I was standing with you at the concession stand? And the I forget what I was at that night, but I'm standing there behind Jake, and the guy at the concessions, the employee, said something like, are you here seeing Brave? You're like, yeah, I'm here seeing Brave. And the guy's like, I thought so. You're the Madagascar guy, right?
Motherfucker.
I about choked. It's different when you hear stories about that, and then when you're actually present when it happens.
You motherfuckers think I am making all this up.
No, I don't think you're making it
up. No, not you. But there are a group of friends that we have, I'm not mentioning names, that will look at me and be like, dude, none of that happened. You're making that shit up.
I believe it.
You want a motherfucking bet?
It's even better when it happens when you actually see it.
When you can actually see it. I do not make this shit up. Mm-hmm. This is what happens to me. All because of this motherfucking website. And all you assholes who thought it was motherfucking funny when I got mad, you just point and laugh, just poke a fucking bear when he's in a trap. Just,
start calling the show Poking the Bear. That's why people didn't like the Brave video. The bear was on one of his nice days.
Yeah, this one's stupid. I don't know how many times I've gotten that, too. Like, hey, I saw this movie and I liked it. This is stupid. Send Jake to go see something else tonight. Duper. I hope you choke and fucking die. You assholes.
That's what I almost did when I heard that in concession stand guy say that.
Exactly.
What are we on, number 3?
Yeah, we're on number 3.
Alright. Boy, did this fucking suck. The Raven. The murder mystery where John Cusack plays Edgar Allan Poe and has to solve a string of murders that are based off of his writings, which was a plot I thought sounded like it'd be alright. I was like, I like John Cusack. This seems like a decent idea for a movie. It might be okay, like a fun, like sort of kind of giallo flick a little bit. And then I started hearing some really bad things about it. Noah, even he saw it before I did, and he put on his Twitter about how just awful it was. Even then, I was kind of like, oh, wow. But even then, when I saw that, I was like, judging by the trailers for this movie, I can't imagine it being a scenario where I would actually be really mad at this, because it looks like, at the least, okay, maybe it just won't be that interesting of a mystery. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it found a way. It found a way to be one of the worst goddamn fucking movies of the year. First of all, John Cusack plays the part as if he's playing Nicolas Cage playing Edgar Allan Poe. Now that would be awesome if it were Nicolas Cage playing Edgar Allan Poe. That could kind of sell me a little bit, like that, because at least I'd be like, okay, this movie kind of sucks, but Nicolas Cage is having fun, at least it would be that. Instead, it looks like John Cusack severely miscast in this eccentric role that, somebody like a Nick Cage would probably do really well, or at least make it really entertaining. Here, it's just awkward, and there's this whole, sort of awkward love story with him and another girl, and her father doesn't approve, and I'm like, is this Edgar Allan Poe or one of Cusack's 80s movies? What the shit is this? Is he gonna fucking recite his poems outside her fucking window at the end of it? Is that gonna somehow work Peter Gabriel into this?
Oh, it fucking better.
No, it didn't.
Oh, that's bullshit. I can't watch that.
So all of that's going on, and it's not done well. And then you have this murder mystery, which again, it's one of those murder mysteries that when the killer's revealed at the end, I was like, who? He shows his face, and I'm like, who is this? I kind of remember him being earlier in the movie, but really, who the fuck? This movie sucks. This movie CGI'd a key going into a keyhole and unlocking a door.
Really?
Yeah.
We can't afford keys.
Oh,
now?
it's way too hard nowadays. You can't do that. You can't do that shit nowadays. And then it had this like really out of place, and this movie came out earlier in the year, so I'm even struggling to remember much about it. I remember the ending credits being really out of place. They looked sort of like the end of a James Bond movie, where like credits are kind of like stilted and kind of jumping at you, and then there's like bullets kind of going through the thing. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, did this just get spliced in from another fucking movie? Did they just attach the ending credits from a Guy Ritchie movie? What the shit? I was so good. That movie was one of the most painful things I sat through because there was no part of it that was any good. Once it got 5 minutes in, there was no way it was going to be redeemed or saved or anything. So that was about 2 hours just sitting there. Oh my god, please end, please end, please fucking end. This is fucking terrible.
My number 3 was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days.
Dog Days! That movie wasn't very good.
That movie was stupid. It was bad. And you know it's going to be when the main character that you're kind of supposed to sympathize with is just a whiny little douchebag of a character that I can't sympathize with you.
No.
I don't feel bad for you. This is another case of white people problems.
Yeah,
it's just being awkward, being a preteen and being awkward.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't like that. I really don't. I don't like that style of humor. It's so what? Yeah, it's fucking awkward. During that time of your life, it fucking sucks. There's no reason to make a movie about it. Or if you're going to do it, make it good.
Yeah,
Don't make the main character so whiny and fucking mopey and so goddamn white that I can't identify with him.
When you do a movie like that, I know what you mean. When you do a movie like that, you have to at least have an actor in there who is somewhat charismatic. Like, going back to John Cusack, like some of the ones he did in the 80s, or even something like, High Fidelity or something like that. If you put a lesser actor in there, that can go really wrong really, really fucking quick. You do need an actor of some who can carry that and can make it good and still make you somewhat identify with him a little bit, or at least make him somewhat charismatic and kind of funny. And that wasn't the case in Diary. It's not on my list, but it wasn't very good, and none of it even made it. I remember that movie ending and him being like, overall, it was the best summer I ever had. You did nothing but bitch the entire time.
And whined and moaned for an hour and a half about how shitty this summer was, and now you're going to wrap it up by saying, and it was the best thing. You had just turned into that whiny, self-involved little fucking teenager prick that we all had to deal with when we were growing up in high school. Yeah, we're all awkward, but we were never that fucking kid. Yeah. That everything is so painful and so horrible. Kiss, this was the best day of my life. I would punch you in the head.
And I remember in the first 5 minutes of it, like, I was, like, a little bit sort of on the kids. I'd never seen any of the others, so it's not like I went into this knowing who that kid was or anything about the other movies. Fuck, I didn't even know Steve Zahn was in any of them until we watched this, but I remember in the first 5 minutes I was sort of on his side a little bit, because I was kind of like, just let him play fucking video games. Like, he's not a sports kid. Why are you trying to...
part... Yeah.
But then once you got to know this little fucker a little more...
Yeah, it's just like, I don't like you as a human being.
Yeah.
That's just what it boils down to. I did not like that character as a human being.
No, neither did I. And I like the family circus thing in it. Remember that? That was Little Cutie is what it was called.
That's what it was. I did appreciate that. Their little stab at family circus running throughout the entire
That was
movie.
funny. Like that was a little funny, but everything you're right.
But I mean,
everything else about it.
The rest of the movie was just stupid. It was just
it was just like a string of just like a lot of sketches, like a lot of set pieces, okay, here's the part where they're breaking into the pool. Here's the part where he goes on vacation with his friend. Here's the part where they all go camping together.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you in what order those things went in.
I remember a swimming pool.
The camping when they want to get the kids like trapped in
the stupid ass pranks.
With ants. Covered with ants.
These elaborate ass traps that they were. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was just like it was. Maybe I wasn't as mad at that one because I think I had to go see Total Recall that weekend as well. But that it wasn't it wasn't a very good movie. All right, we got number 2 right now. Number 2 on my list. Probably gonna get yelled at for this one, but I don't care. And no, it's not Dark Knight Rises. Tim and Eric's $1 billion movie. Because I just didn't get it.
I would sooner ram a 12-inch metal rod through my penis than I would to ever
see that
ever watch a Tim and Eric movie.
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be funny. That is the argument that I always hear from it. It's not. You don't get it. It's not supposed to be funny. Mm-hmm. No, I understand that it's not supposed to be funny. Hence why I'm not laughing. This is dumb.
Yeah, and my answer to that is always, look, I know what anti-humor is. I know what they're doing. I get it. I get the shtick of it.
If you want to see anti-humor,
watch Andy
Kaufman.
Watch Andy Kaufman, because Andy Kaufman was genuine. Tim and Eric aren't. And also, what I say to that, too, is just that at the end of the day, regardless if this is the kind of comedy that you're supposed to laugh out loud at or not, regardless of that, it still has to be enjoyable. It still has to have some kind of entertainment. You got to get something positive out of it. And if you're not into it, if you don't like it, if you just don't like what they're doing, their shtick, it's going to be painful to fucking sit through. I don't like their shtick. I don't think they are good performers. It isn't so much that I'm just against anti-humor. I think that nowadays anti-humor is done really fucking badly. Tim and Eric are part of that. But you can still have that and be genuine. You can be a really good performer and do that incredibly well, like Andy Kaufman did. And honestly, there's another guy on Adult Swim who does it way better than Tim and Eric. I've seen a little bit of that, the Eric Andre show, which deals
I've heard of that.
In like it does some anti-humor like that, but it does it so much better than Tim and Eric does, because Eric Andre is just a better actor than they are. He's a better performer than they are. His timing is a lot better. And you know what, again, like if what Tim and Eric are doing, if that's intentional, where they're trying to come across as really bad actors, really bad performers, one, it works. They don't come across very good. But second of all, they don't make that entertaining. You can intentionally act bad, which I'm sure is what they're doing, because I honestly have seen those actors in other things where they've given a decent performance. I'm sure they are just intentionally acting very, very bad and whatnot, but it's not. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't come across as entertaining. It doesn't come across as enjoyable. It comes across as just.
It seems like they're portraying being bad performers, not skillfully, I suppose, is the way that...
Yeah, I think that's
pretending to be a bad performer to elicit an emotion out of an audience is one thing if you can pull it off.
If you can do it. If you can do it correctly. Like you know, when Paul Schaefer used to be on Saturday Night Live, and he would be doing some stuff like that, where he would kind of intentionally be looking at the cue cards and then, like, doing really flat readings, and intentionally so. Mm-hmm. That was done well. That was done really, really funny.
Yeah,
you can do that.
It takes a certain amount of skill to come across as a bad performer.
Yeah.
And when they do it, I think you're right. I personally don't see their skill. I don't see what the big deal is about Tim and Eric. They are not skilled performers. Mm-hmm. You know, even within their shtick, within the bubble that is anti-humor, they're bad performers. They're bad at that particular style.
That's what I come down on it too, is I just don't like their style of doing it. I don't find it entertaining. I do not find it funny. I find it aggravating. I find it very, very annoying. And most importantly, I don't find it fucking enjoyable, which is what you're at least supposed to get that out of.
Yeah.
And that movie, the billion-dollar movie, is like watching an 80-minute version of that show, which even at 15 minutes is
too
still
much.
long to fucking sit through. And the movie does have a narrative. It does. It isn't really like a Kentucky Fried Movie sketch thing like that. It does have a narrative, but the humor in it is all sketch oriented. You know, the humor in it is certainly like random things will happen, even though it has a narrative. Random things will just keep happening here and there, almost like it's just little sketches within a big movie that's a narrative. Things just kind of come and go out of nowhere. There's no context. There's no real payoff. There's a scene of one of them taking a bath like in shit, and again, that's just the joke. The joke is that the guy is taking a bath in shit. You can do shit jokes just fine. Shit jokes are like any other jokes. When you have a talented performer writing it and doing it, you can make that pretty funny. You can't just have a guy bathing in shit and that's your fucking joke. That is serious. Honestly, that's basically what that whole movie is. Is just a series of stuff like that. And I'll admit, it's not for me. I'm not in Tim and Eric's camp. I'm not a mark for that stuff. But I also don't think it's any good. So yeah, was it useless for me to watch that movie? Yeah, kinda. But I still didn't like it, so it's on my list.
My number 2 is Oogie Loves. Here's my problem that I had with Oogie Loves. It's quite possibly... I'm looking at my number 1. Okay. I gotta phrase this.
I wonder what number 1's gonna be.
I gotta phrase this correctly. Oogie Loves was quite possibly the worst theatrical movie I have ever personally seen on a technical level. It just reeked of like a Nickelodeon TV premiere movie. The Oogie Loves. It's an hour long. I can see that a direct to DVD.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna warrant a theatrical release to try to, have the masses see it, you got to be on your game. You can't just make some regurgitated crap and chuck it on there. And that's exactly what it is. You can see it in the actors. I don't know how many times you
like Bubbles?
That part was great. And how many times did it cut to Cloris Leachman? You could just see it. She's like in the middle of a song that is obviously voiced over because the voice on this is not matching up at all.
Yeah.
And you could just see her going, ugh. You could just see her going, this is so fucking stupid.
And Christopher Lloyd
just
looked confused.
It was just...
It was like seeing a John Carradine performance from like the late 70s or in the early 80s around the Frankenstein Island.
Yeah.
Era. It was like seeing that where like, well, that's John Carradine, but I don't think he really knows what's going on.
I don't think he knows what the hell is going on.
He seems genuinely confused. It was like watching something like that. What'd you get, buddy?
Oh, let's try this.
Get out of my video!
Get yourself some Hardee's.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of these cameos were like watching that, and oh boy, yeah, was it a who's popular today? Tony Braxton. I think the funniest one I think was Chaz Palminteri, because like, fucking what? What did Joe Pesci turn him down? What the hell is he doing in this? Doing what seems to be a very low rent Dice impression. Like, ooh, mashed potatoes, Sundays, ooh, something like, God, don't drink that Sunday too fast, ooh. God, just stop.
That's what that whole movie was. It was just a constant please just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just
It made you break your wand.
It sure did. I didn't even break it like this. I broke it by ringing it to death.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, blah! It was like, this is pissing. I don't like squirt.
That's not a tree pot, or that's not a teapot.
And
That's
it didn't
my tree
even, my
pot.
wand only lasted like 20 minutes into it when they did that. That's not a teapot. That's a tree pot. Snap!
All over
I'm
Dave.
sorry, Dave.
The inside of it splashed all
Like-
over Dave.
Like, if Brad was me, and,
Yeah.
and I'm Dave, and he just, I just broke my wand, it was like all of this
Yeah, glowing.
was glowing
Yeah.
orange. And I happened to look at my left arm, and I had like 3 spots on me. I was like,
I was
Dave,
fine.
Dave, dude, you should totally feel sorry for me.
I do love it though. Whenever some of my favorite movie-going experiences though are always the ones where the person selling the tickets is judging us.
Yeah.
Boy, was that the fucking case at this one. I walk in, and I could tell that the guy knew what I was gonna say because he was already kind of
He
smiling.
was smirking.
And I was like, yeah, 3 for Oogie Loves. And then the manager just slowly turns around and looks at me, and I'm like, it's for a website. It's for a website. She's like, oh, okay, thank God. And then I'm like, are we the first, out of curiosity, are we the first ones to go see this? And she's like, no, there's some guy and his kid in there now. There was nobody who saw it the rest of the days. And then we go see it, and we're audibly not really liking the movie very much, but we couldn't get thrown out because it's an interactive movie.
It's an interactive movie. I was interacting with the movie.
Yeah.
I was just making my own interactions.
Ugh.
Yeah, the movie was just so bad, and then that moment where they're like, "Oh no, the balloons got away."
No!
I almost lost it. I was like, no! We're not doing this again.
No, it's okay because the balloons floated themselves back down to them, which, when you think about it, actually should have made this a much shorter movie than what it was.
We need the balloons. There, and there. Come to me.
Yeah.
Bam, we're done. 20 minutes.
Oh no! You stole the wrong balloons.
Tuffy Wuffy, pull up your pants.
Oh right, the pants.
The
I forgot that
pants
running
thing.
gag. Yeah. Pull up your pants. Yeah, we were supposed to scream at him to pull his pants back up or some shit. Yeah. It's all
Why
coming
is that
back to
put
me
in
now.
there?
So
Just
the audience can interact with it. Pull your pants up. Or before we get to our number 1 choices, actually meant to do this earlier, but I completely forgot. Here's just a quick rundown of some of the really, really, really bad direct-to-video ones, or at least the ones that had a DVD premiere around here. Hell, some of these might even be from like 2011, but they premiered on DVD in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we got, let me just do a quick run of these. We got Shriek of the Sasquatch. Supposedly it took place in the 70s, and you knew this because they kept throwing out little cute winky gags every now and then, like, ooh, look at those letters, E-L-O, like Electric Light Orchestra. A lot of that. Let's see, Clown Hunt, which is about a bunch of rednecks hunting clowns. It sounded good.
Yeah, it does.
It wasn't. Area 407, it's a found footage movie about dinosaurs. At the end, the dinosaur eats the cameraman. There was a funny part where you could see a little raptor scuttle across the window, like, There wasn't enough dinosaurs in it, though. Like, I seriously just explained to you both scenes where you see a dinosaur. Fast Zombies with Guns. I hated it from the fucking title. The movie lived up to that. American Warships, which was the Asylum's knockoff of Battleship, which wasn't fun at all. Alien Origin, probably the worst found footage movie I've ever seen in my life. Nothing happens in that fucking movie. Nothing. At least Area 407 had a dinosaur in it, like, twice. This one has fucking nothing. And then A Christmas Story 2, which, if we were including DVD movies in this, would honestly fight for the number 1 spot of the worst movie I saw all year. Alright, so now let's get to the actual number 1 on my list, which was probably a couple people predicted it on the website, and everyone predicted what I'm sure yours is going to be.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Number 1 on my list is Savages. Oliver Stone's Savages, a movie that when I saw the trailer for it, I thought it looked fine. I like Oliver Stone. It looked like Oliver Stone going back to doing something kind of gritty and violent, like something he'd do in like the 80s or 90s. So I didn't expect it to be bad, really, let alone so bad that it's the number one fucking movie on my list for worst. This was, Oogie Loves, it's more inept than this film in terms of movie making. So is The Apparition, so is The Devil Inside, but in terms of just sheer anger, in terms of what was the fucking hardest to sit through, in terms of squandered potential, all of that, which are big factors that go into what I usually put as number one on there, usually, especially in the emotional department, all of that is present in this movie. It's like watching, it does feel 90s alright. It's like watching a collection of all of the worst elements from all of the really, really, really bad, like, indie crime movies of the 90s. Not the good ones, not the really, really good ones, because you would have some really good ones too that would get inspiration from stuff like Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, movies like that. This one, no. This was like whenever something would come out like Best Laid Plans or The Big Hit or something like that. This is like, you're being reminded of all those ones that just didn't fucking work. Whether it was dialogue, characters, pointless ambition, just an over attempt at trying to be hip and cool and just falling flat on your fucking face. That's what this goddamn movie was. It was like watching Boondock Saints 2 again. Or hell, even the first one. But anyway, sample dialogue in this fucking thing. You've got Blake Lively, has the most asinine fucking narration in a movie that I've ever heard in my life. What's his face from Battleship is like fucking her brains out, and she's narrating this, and she's saying like, she's talking about how he just got back from Iraq. And he's like, I have orgasms, but he has wargasms. He's got to fuck the war out of him. This was in the first 5 minutes of the movie. The credits were still going over this line. I had a pretty good idea where the rest of the movie was going to be fucking going after that. And I can't even remember what was some other shit that she said? Like, at the end of the movie, she explains to us the definition of the word savages. The movie has a fake-out ending. One ending happens, she narrates and goes, but that's not what actually happened. And then it does the cute little thing where it rewinds, goes, and then shows what actually happened. Like, why was that even fucking... Like, you know what? That sucked in Breaking Dawn when that happened. That was a cop-out and everything. It was. But it did have context. It was the flimsiest of context, but there was, in the sense, she's showing him how what's going on. I get, like, that at least, it was dumb, it was stupid, it was a cop-out, but it at least had a context to it. This doesn't. This is an ending that happens, and then the narrator says, but that's not what really happened, and then it goes and shows us another ending. That would seriously be like if in Breaking Dawn, all that shit happens at the end, and then Bella just says, like, oh, but it didn't actually happen
but
like
here's
this.
what really happened.
Yeah, without, like, the psychic shit or any of that.
Right.
That's like the ending to this fucking movie. It is. Apparently, and I was told this too, apparently the book that it's based on, that first ending we saw, is actually the ending of the book. But even that, like, even if it had ended there, like, it was still really bad. Like, they all, spoiler alert, they all kind of, like, off each other for really no reason whatsoever. And then they'd say, like, oh, but that's not what really happened. And then some people die, some people don't. It ends kind of happy, I think. I guess they were like, I don't know why they did this in the movie, but I guess they were. It wasn't so much that they saw the ending of the book and were like, oh, that's a downer, we can't do that. But wait, let's do that, but not do it.
Yeah.
That's what that movie was. It was seriously, the movie ended, and boy, did I have some Jake rage going. Brian and I do the review, and I take off my glasses, and chuck them like on the floor. And I'm walking out of the theater, and I have my drink in my hand, and I just slam it in the trash can, but I kind of missed a little bit. Like, it went in the trash can, just the end of it kind of hit the edge of it, so some splashed on the wall, and I actually felt really bad about that. I was like, sorry.
I would have been like, fuck your wall! Call Oliver Stone to clean that shit. Fucker owes me.
Oh, but that's not what I really did with my soda.
Rewind.
The end.
That was a much happier ending.
So what's yours?
Turns out That's My Boy. I mentioned that, it was the single worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It still is.
Is it still the worst movie?
It's still the worst movie I have personally ever seen. Just right out of the gate, it's just insulting.
Yeah,
Just
Roper also
right out of it.
is-
Insulted me.
Yeah.
It was a slap in my face. And here's what the movie is. It's pro pedophilia. Wrong.
Yeah.
It's incest is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the whole fucking movie.
You didn't know that Adam Sandler was playing Klaus Kinski in this movie?
I was unaware of that. And I had just such a problem with the whole opening of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It goes with the Adam Sandler character as a 15-year-old boy, 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's going to school, and he starts fucking his teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Or the teacher actually starts fucking him because she's a goddamn adult.
Yeah.
Alright? And so that's going on. It's like, woo, go me!
Uh-huh.
And then, there's this assembly, and somebody's talking, and you hear like clang, 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 clang on a piano, and they pull up the curtain, and you see the teacher just banging the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he's sitting against like a piano.
Yeah.
And that's what you're hearing is that.
Uh-huh.
And she's just fucking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Now, I propose something a little bit different. Alright? And this isn't the argument for normal sane people. This is for the people who I've personally met in my life who like that movie.
You've met people who like That's My Boy?
I almost ended a fucking friendship because they told me that.
Oh.
They're like, this movie was funny. I was like, this movie was a goddamn insult.
Uh-huh.
Is what it was. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change the beginning just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Alright? I'm gonna put in a cute little 15-year-old girl. And I'm gonna put in a handsome male teacher. And I'm gonna have that exact scene where the curtain comes open.
Yeah.
And instead of seeing a female, just the back of a female, fucking somebody, and we know who that person is, I want to see a bare-ass dude with little tiny legs, like right here on his shoulder, just plowing the shit out of a little 15-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know with me saying that, some people out there just kind of squirmed and got a little bit uncomfortable. That's the fucking point!
Yeah.
It's pedophilia!
Mm-hmm.
Any way that you look at it, it's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It should not be celebrated. It is not something to be proud of if it happens to a boy.
Something that's a double standard.
It's a double standard. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I want to see him banging the unholy shit out of a little 15-year-old girl. Have her bent over that piano and just drilling her with everything he's worth. Just like I saw a female doing the same thing to a little boy. That's fucking wrong. That's what the movie opened with.
Yeah.
You want me to hang out with this character, and not only that, him fucking the teacher fucking him was the best thing to ever happen to this little kid's life. Like, he becomes a millionaire.
Yeah.
He becomes famous. He creates the rest of his miserable, disgusting, drunken life based off all the money and all the prosperity and all the fame that pedophilia gave him. That's fucking wrong. Wrong.
The saddest thing is, because of how our media is with that kind of double standard, because that is true. You look at situations where you look at some instances where it happens, like what you just said, where it's a guy doing it to a little girl. Yeah, that motherfucker's
lynched.
Yeah,
he's as good as dead.
And then you have another situation that's like that, who was that one lady? That pretty hot blonde.
It was a hot. I can't remember her
yeah.
name. I remember when it became like national news for about
and it was,
5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was another thing. You got all those like kind of like bro speak. Like,
Yeah,
oh man, where was she?
Where was she at when I was in high school? Lerpity derpity derp. Or you no?
But because that kind of double standard has certainly been created by media, but you see that in places other than just this movie. But because it is there, I can see in my head a situation where you can make ripe satire out of that. Where you could possibly make something relatively satirical out of that kind of double standard. Now, I think the difference is that you would need a really, really good comedic writer to do that.
Yes, you would.
Adam Sandler's not the kind of person to do that kind of thing. I think that you can take a subject that's very taboo like that. You can probably do something with that in terms of a very, very, very dark comedy or maybe a social satirical comedy. I can see that happening. But again, like I just said, Adam Sandler's not the kind of person to do that. Adam Sandler is the kind of writer, is the kind of comedian who is not going to do anything satirical with it. The humor is just going to come from the fact that they're nailing on a piano. That it's happening.
That is what. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in the world of comedy, there isn't really too many taboo subjects.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm all right with that because there are some things out there that are horrible that you need to poke fun at.
Yeah.
Like racism, for example.
Uh-huh.
That is a horrible thing. But racist jokes are funny as hell.
Blazing Saddles is one of
Exactly.
the funniest fucking movies of all
Satire.
time. But Blazing Saddles has a solid team of writers behind it.
Some of the best comedic
You had
writers
Richard Pryor,
ever.
you had Mel Brooks working on the script of that. You had all of the nominally talented comedic writers working on that movie.
And they did it as a satire.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles is
did.
quite possibly, arguably the funniest movies.
By far, it's
ever.
one of the funniest
Oh
movies
yeah,
of all time.
in my opinion, it's probably my favorite comedy
Yeah,
ever.
oh,
It's
it's
so
a classic.
goddamn funny.
Yeah.
But he wrote it as a satire. You could just plainly see what was being satired, what was being poked fun at.
Yeah.
And that's my boy. There wasn't nothing being poked fun at or
It was
looking
shock
at
humor.
it. It was shock humor.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was it was shocking to me of how they portrayed how great his life was after that.
Uh-huh.
And
even then though, if you have an actual person writing it who maybe actually does want to say something about this, who actually does want to comment on that kind of attitude from a society that would make a celebrity out of somebody like that, that could work. That could, in a movie that isn't a movie that exists purely just for shock value.
yeah.
Just for shock value, just for incest jokes, just for pedophilia jokes, just for puke gags, all of that kind of stuff. That's not the kind of movie that this is, and when you have a lot of really taboo subjects like that, we've seen a lot of movies that just exist mainly for shock value. This movie is nothing new. It's kind of gross, really. But like I said, it's unfortunate that you couldn't get a much better writer to actually maybe churn something out of this very taboo subject.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, they weren't tackling a subject that is controversial in a satirical fashion to be funny.
It's a shock humor movie.
It was just
it.
It was there to be there because that's what the main plot of the movie is.
Yeah.
So that was the opening. That was the very beginning of this movie, and it didn't improve from there.
Yeah.
It just like my expectations. It's Adam Sandler. It's already pretty goddamn good. All right, here's ground. Here's where I thought this movie was going to be. It actually dug a hole and then took a rocket to the center of the earth. And then the logic and the making sense did a 360 because there was zero gravity for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they shot out and they had a fight at the end.
Yeah,
That's what happened. The logic part of my brain is like, this makes no sense.
Yeah, the movie was shot on a rocket going through the core of the Earth.
Because it makes about as much sense as what the fuck that was until that you explained to me. What the hell? Science fiction, you're allowed to, make me believe, some far out shit.
Well, it's all
but not a rocket to the middle of the...
Yeah.
Pressure increases down there. It doesn't decrease. There's not a black hole in the middle of the fucking Earth. Are you kidding me? It gets denser. That's why you can't swim to the bottom of the ocean. You'll get crushed. Ugh. But anyways, just because of just the rest of the movie, the comedy wasn't good. There was nothing funny. There was no good characters.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand any of them. It was Team Sandler again. With the that stupid voice again, and Vanilla Ice. Why the fuck not? He's timely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Come on, he was in The New Kid.
Yeah.
Somebody put a good thing online with it. I'm with you on Adam Sandler. I've never been an Adam Sandler fan. Not even when I was a kid, I wasn't. Are there a couple of his that I like? Sure, they were dramas.
Yeah.
They weren't comedies. But anyway, somebody did say something online where they said, have Adam Sandler's movies actually gotten worse, or have I just gotten older?
No, they've gotten worse.
I think both sides of that raise an interesting
point.
But
yes. Yes, it does. That does raise a really good point.
Yeah.
When Adam Sandler really broke out, I was much younger.
Yeah.
Much more within the parameters of his type of humor. And even then, at that age, I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
And you would think, there was that moment where he was starting to grow as an actor, when he started doing the dramas that started getting a lot more critically acclaimed movies. Like a lot of people like Spanglish.
I liked Spanglish. Punch Drunk Love. I thought was great. Funny People. I thought was great.
Was another. Yeah, that was the other one.
For every one of those he does, he squanders that quick.
Yeah.
Like after Funny People, I think came Jack and Jill. So he squanders that fucking fast whenever something like that happens.
He's had so much time to develop himself as an actor and improve on his art, and it's fine if you want to do comedy for the rest of your life, be a comedic actor. Great. You need more of those. That's fine. But, with a good comedy star, you can see them at the beginning of their work evolving themselves and becoming better at their craft. Mm-hmm. Adam Sandler started here and then just kind of went like this, and then dropped again, and then went like this, and it's just what he's been doing. He's getting worse and worse and worse. Mm-hmm. What's the point of making a movie anymore, dude?
It's a shtick that's continued that I never even liked in the first place. He's saying something that's... It's hard to say, like, oh, this is unfunny, because it doesn't even seem like a joke.
Right.
Some of the stuff he says. Like, it doesn't even seem like it's a joke. But it seems like the joke of it is that he's saying something that I guess is like kind of normal, but he's doing it in a really stupid voice. Like that to me that's not a joke, that's not funny, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's really, really fucking annoying. Yeah, you can have a character in a movie who has a silly voice, and that can be very, very funny. Look at Peter Sellers when he plays Inspector Clouseau. Mm-hmm. But Adam Sandler is no Peter Sellers.
No.
And also, the humor of those Pink Panther movies was not simply the fact that he's just using a silly voice. It isn't. There's other stuff that's going on there. What he's saying is actually funny. The voice, he's doing it so well, it's adding to that. It's making it even better. There's never been the case with Adam Sandler.
No,
it's grating. It's annoying. To me, it's never been funny. I don't like the guy. I really don't. I thought his dramas were fine. I think as a dramatic actor, he's good. I think he's legitimately good as a dramatic actor. Because even in his comedies, even though I don't really like them, he does have an energy that can suit well in a dramatic character when he'd be playing like an edgy kind of, like Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
Punch Drunk Love I like a lot because it's basically like taking another character of his minus the stupid voice, but actually looking at it realistically. That's always a thing I've had too, where it's like if you look at some of these movies like Happy Gilmore realistically, this is not a good guy. This is like a really, and I'm not even saying like a comedy doesn't have to be about a good guy in order for it to be good, but there's a weird level of like this guy seriously has fucking psychiatric problems, and it's not funny, and that can be fine in a comedy when done well. I don't think Adam Sandler does it very well, but I also think that's one of the reasons why Punch Drunk Love works, because it takes somebody like that and actually does say, hey, this guy does have some fucking problems, let's make a movie about this. That I liked. But I can't tell you the last time I saw a movie of his that it was Funny People. Funny People was the last movie of his I saw in the theater, and I liked it. I didn't see Jack. I didn't send anybody to Jack and Jill.
That movie just still just raises my anger so much.
I got something that'll cheer you up.
I swear to God, Brad,
it's not That's My Boy. A fan sent this for you. Sent it to my house. It said, to Brad and Jared. I'm like, what? And then I open it up and it's a letter that goes, this is for Jake. So, a fan sent you a little care package of some stuff. What you got?
I'm cool with this. I got a priest hand.
A priest in 3D. Hat.
I got a priest t-shirt. Whoever this is, I love you so much.
My first thought was, there were priest t-shirts?
There were priest shit?
Oh, you see, you could have worn this, and you could have been like, oh, it's the priest.
Oh, it's Priest Jake.
It would have been great if you wore this two priests with like a little flag that said priest on it, and then when you leave, it's like the cartoons. The flag is like sadly drooped.
Oh. How the fuck did you get this?
I have no idea. I didn't buy this.
No, that's great.
Smurfs 2.
Smurfs 2.
What the fuck kind of jacket do you call this?
I don't know.
A douchebag jacket is what it is.
Wow, there's more. Oh, yeah, there it is.
What's this?
It's a Madagascar shirt.
Oh, well,
with
Madagascar guy.
with the rainbow afros.
Oh, with Afro Circus. I would love to see you walking around downtown Springfield like this, like mess up your hair a lot, just walk around like this, just going da da da
Afro Circus, Afro Circus, Afro Circus.
Holy shit!
I'm gonna have
that guy's fucking crazy.
Alright, now I'm gonna have to do that.
You let me know when you do that. I'm gonna take the camera with me and hide it around Springfield. Oh my god, that guy really liked that fucking movie.
It is on the return address, by the way.
Alright, yeah, let's see who said this. Dan Preeb?
Preeb? Am I saying that right? Preeb?
Well, thank you very much, Dan Preeb.
Yes, thank you so much, Dan.
Well, that's our list for the worst films of the worst films of the year.
I'm wearing this pre-shirt.
Oh yeah, hell
yeah, I'm wearing this pre-shirt.
And thanks a bunch for the stuff, and we hope you all made it to the end of this video.
This is the first time I've ever gotten a care package from the website. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Thank you. That's fucking awesome.
How does it look with the hat? Hang on, I'm gonna.
Ah, there we go.
I'm gonna try this one. Actually, this is really comfortable. Too bad it says Smurfs 2 on the back of it. Alright. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is fantastic. Oh yeah. This doesn't feel like I'm being slowly fucking strangled at all. Cozy. Alright, we'll see you guys later.